And good morning, everybody. Welcome to a new week. Thank you so much for being with us. By the way, coming up in the next week to 10 days or so, I'm going to try to do an expose on live radio. We'll try to simulcast it here about this new vaccine. Putting together some information now. I'll try to get it all together for you. But today, I got a little bit of a troubling little article that came out of England, University of Cambridge, that says the future is uncertain. And for those of you that don't have a faith in God, in Jesus, a higher being, I'm sure your future is uncertain. Mine is not. And hopefully yours is not as well. But in today's world, it's becoming more and more of a chemical imbalance, I'm going to have to say, because so many of us are being completely overwhelmed by the issues of the day. Just watching the news over the weekend and saying, okay, and I got down myself because I love Thanksgiving. Now, I wish I could have it with my kids. Wish my mother was still alive and our family was still together and we were able to have these wonderful Thanksgiving meals. But that's not going to happen now. My mother's gone to her reward, and with travel restrictions, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. But here in Florida, I am going to get a chance to celebrate Thanksgiving with my only first cousin. We have made reservations and we're going to be going out for a wonderful meal, actually sitting on the Gulf on Thanksgiving Day. So we're looking forward to that. But the gist of this article, I think, is very important. Because if you're in that mode right now and you're saying, my goodness, I don't know what tomorrow holds. And we do know that when you're in those kind of modes, that typically leads toward what? Depression. And if we spin ourselves into depression, then comes anxiety. And by the way, check out last Saturday's show when I did it on the difference between anxiety and depression and the differences and where they cross and what are the similarities and what are the differences. But today I'm going to talk about one you may not hear about too often. And it's called noradrenaline or norepinephrine. There is a class of drugs when doctors make a guess that your noradrenaline levels are low. Try to say that a couple times. Noradrenaline. Your tongue sort of wobbles. But the important thing to do here, and the thing that I want to make sure comes across clear in this, is that you can check levels. You don't have to be a psychiatrist and guess or a GP and guess and put you on a class of drugs called SNRIs. Effexor is the most commonly known one. You can do that. But wouldn't it be better to look at all of the levels? Serotonin, GABA, dopamine, noradrenaline, all at once. And that can be done now very accurately, very safely by a simple urine screen where we pull DNA analysis out. And I've talked about that many times. But let me read this article, because if I'm talking to you right now and you're a little concerned about tomorrow or next week or Christmas or New Year's, or your job, or your finances. A brain chemical called noradrenaline is responsible for our responses to uncertain situations, helping us to learn quickly and adapt our behavior, a new study has found. Learn quickly, adapt our behavior. This brain, as God created it, has an amazing capability of doing that. The COVID-19 pandemic has plunged us into a state of uncertainty in a rapidly changing situation where it's hard to know what will happen next. Making decisions can be difficult. And I agree. It can be difficult and worrisome, which is why I've been just hammering this forever. Do something. Start eating better. Supplement correctly. Build your defensive mode up. Don't just sit back and say, oh my God, I'm going to just stay in my house forever. Sure, you got to use common sense. Sure, you got to wear a mask. Sure, you've got to do A, B, C, D, and E. Researchers at the University of Cambridge and the University College London created a simplistic model of this uncertain situation in a lab to understand how our brain responds. They found that when situations seem stable, we tend to rely on our previous experiences to help us anticipate what will happen in the future. When everything's cool. But when the world is volatile, our brain can let go of these expectations and allow rapid learning. The balance between the two approaches is moderated by the brain chemical noradrenaline or norepinephrine. Same thing, just two different ways of saying it. Study was published in the Journal of Current Biology, November 13th, 3 days ago. Adapting to uncertain situations helps us to survive. When something unexpected happens, we have to decide whether it's a one-off and ignore it or whether it's going to keep happening. But if you don't have enough norepinephrine in your body, you can't make those decisions. And they don't bring that up in here. We've used a rather simplistic branched chain amino acid concept to feed the body's production of all the neurotransmitters. The study tested the effects of propranolol. Now see, here we go. They're going to use a drug, an old-fashioned beta blocker, a drug used to reduce anxiety and blood pressure, on how people respond to stable situations and changeable ones. Propranolol blocks the action of noradrenaline. It blocks adrenaline. And by doing that, noradrenaline is going to go up. Participants in the experiments who were not suffering with anxiety heard a sound and were then shown an image of either a house or a face. They quickly learned to predict the image they would see depending on the sound they heard, treating you like a monkey. The association between particular sounds and images was then changed. The reaction time of participants who received a placebo drug slowed down as the associations became more unexpected. Those who received propranolol relied on the sound. Watch how many doctors read this. Watch how many doctors say, oh my God, it's the newest and greatest. We can revisit this old drug. It's safe. We can come back with this. Using a computational model, the researchers showed that the propranolol group were slower than the placebo group at learning. Really? And adjusted their expectation about what came next. We found that a brain chemical called noradrenaline plays a role in our ability to predict the future when the state of the world is volatile. This could be the next great thing. When a situation is stable, represented in the experiment by a fixed link between sounds and images, our past experiences can be relied upon as a good guide as to what will happen next. But when a situation is changing, we need to be more receptive to new information to try and work out what is happening and how to respond. In the face of uncertainty, people taking the anti-anxiety drug, it's not an anti-anxiety drug, and it comes with a whole myriad of side effects. But this is going to happen. Increased reliance on past experiences to form their behavior. They were less influences by changing in their environment. Is that a healthy thing to do? If you take propranolol, are you less likely to pay attention to what's going on now and just live in the past? Think about this, the commercial that goes on for one of the insurance companies that says, are you turning into your parents? Look at all those pillows on the couch. Look at how you reacted in Lowe's. Look, they're funny and they're truthful. But that's called living in the past. If you don't quit looking in the rearview mirror and starting to move ahead, how far are you going to get? Difficulty in balancing expectations against new information is thought to underlie many conditions, including autism and anxiety. The team plans to extend their research to try to understand how people with these conditions learn under uncertainty. In the longer term, this could help those with autism and anxiety to recognize the source of their anxiety manage it better. Again, coming from the world of Psychiatry 101. Take it from me. Get your levels checked. If you're dealing with some stuff, let's figure out what it is. Fix it. Move it ahead. Stabilize it. Anybody that has been one of my clients that we've done this with, and if you adhere to a plan, it's really amazing how well you can do. All right, the numbers to reach us if you want more information on that kind of testing, 678-228-8900, 678-228-8900. Our website is thenutritionshop.net, THE, thenutritionshop.net. Call and set up your time now. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. God bless you, folks. Take care.